A Philadelphia attorney is speaking out against the wife of embattled FBI Agent Peter Strzok. The lawyer says Securities and Exchange Commission attorney Melissa Hodgman unfairly targeted a group of Asian American businessmen and women. One America's Neil W. McCabe has more from Washington.
Philadelphia securities attorney William Uchimoto was charged with stock fraud in September 2015 along with his client Benjamin Way, after an investigation supervised by Securities and Exchange Commission attorney Melissa Hodgman. In an abrupt rebuke to the Justice Department and the SEC, all charges against Uchimoto were dismissed before his trial began, as well as the charges against Way and the others. Hodgman is the wife of Peter Strzok, the senior FBI agent. Special counsel Robert Mueller fired from his team after Strzok's own unprofessional conduct was betrayed by his text messages with his mistress, Lisa Page. Hodgman's team accused Uchimoto, the son of one of the most highly decorated go-for-broke Japanese-American soldiers who fought in the Second World War, of masterminding an elaborate scheme to secure illicit profits to support the Way family's, quote, lavish lifestyle, unquote.
I was charged with precisely the listing matter. They were trying to get, I believe, to Ben, and they had to get to him through me because I was the listing counsel.
Way, who was born in China but educated in the United States, developed a book of business helping Chinese companies list on American stock exchanges so they could access U.S. capital markets. Uchimoto said the charges against him centered on the NASDAQ rule that required a new listing to have at least 300 shareholders with at least 100 shares.
If you have 300, you're good to go. I believe it had about 450 to 500 shareholders. But the allegation was some of those shareholders were gifted and should not count.
Hodgman's team accused Uchimoto of gifting the shares as part of an elaborate scheme to avoid detection and evade the rules. The problem is there was no such rule, something Uchimoto would know as a university lecturer on securities law, the former general counsel of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, and himself a veteran lawyer of the SEC.
So where is this, gifting prohibition? It was never filed, so it really is not a rule. I fully cooperated with the commission, explained exactly what happened.
Uchimoto said he was interviewed by SEC investigators and the FBI. But in a break with protocol, the lawyer said he was never told that he was the target of a prosecution as he talked with the feds.
We were involved with Chinese companies. At the time, there was an alert that these Chinese companies are possibly the product of reverse mergers and therefore they're bad, so they wanted to take scalps. Ms. Hodgman wanted to really notch the ballot.
Facing professional humiliation, disbarment, and huge federal fines, Uchimoto, against the advice of his own lawyer, drafted a Rule 11 motion, which claimed that he was being unfairly prosecuted.
It's a very strong weapon in the right case. I think my case was right for bringing a Rule 11 against the commission and the specific attorneys like Melissa Hodgman.
Uchimoto served the SEC lawyers with his Rule 11 motion and was waiting out the 21-day safe harbor before he was allowed to formally file the motion with the judge.
On the 20th day, serendipity happened. The judge threw out the case.
All charges against Uchimoto and Way were tossed out by the judge. But 6 months later, in October of 2016, the SEC promoted Hodgman to her current position as the Associate Director of the Commission's Enforcement Division. And in a press release, the SEC touted Hodgman's prosecution of Uchimoto.
Why should someone be promoted when they're wasting taxpayer money? It's horrible. She should send an apology.
Neil W. McCabe, One America News, Washington.
We can use your help. Call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call today.